And we're live. Welcome to another amazing show this fine Monday morning, wherever you're at in the world, Monday afternoon, Monday evening here in sunny southern Spain, where I am. We are going to go live on Binance as well. So yeah, just waiting for people to jump on in before we get started. Today's stream is going to be absolutely amazing. As always, we missed you guys over the weekend, but we do have updates. In particular, how freaking amazing we did in the trading group last week together here on these streams. And if you were watching our streams, you crushed it. You absolutely crushed it because we went over a lot of the top setups from last week. We covered them in the Capital Mindset, and it's just really amazing to see. So it's been really fun to do that together. We're going to continue to crush it this week, bringing the energy out high, all-time high in the background. I know Bitcoin hit another all-time high, but I'm not going to take another drink because it's Monday and I'm going to wait until Friday. So if we're still doing well around Friday, I'll have another all-time high vodka drink with you. So welcome to the show, Anti-Social Maniac. Well, I'm glad you're being social with us today. And Theta, yes, Theta is going to do fantastic this cycle. We've covered so many different Theta charts, and we'll continue to keep you updated. But yeah, Theta's going to be amazing. So no doubt in my mind, we're just waiting for people to join. And man, what a wonderful weekend. I hope you had a great weekend as well. We had so many new members sign up last week, and we had a lot of requests to extend our sale for the Capital Mindset Trading Group. So we are extending our summer sale to the end of this week to Friday. That's 20% off. So the link is in the description below. Guys, do take advantage of that because there is no better thing to do right now than invest in yourself and your tools. And you've got some of the most amazing mentors in this space to help you crush it. I mean, just go back and look at the live streams last week. Had you taken action on any of those setups, you'd be profitable and you'd be crushing it. Okay. And if you don't know how to trade, you always got to start somewhere. All the most amazing traders and investors started somewhere, and that's taking baby steps, getting your feet wet. If you're just an investor and you want to know what's happening in the macro scale and long term, we're doing that also. That's my arena. And so I just actually posted my podcast with Charles Hoskinson, and it was fantastic. Do go and check that out. It's live. It was really amazing. We were discussing how Cardano was going to bring trillions potentially and potential to Bitcoin DeFi and liquidity. So it's a really cool episode, and he's such an amazing, smart guy. So I really recommend you go check that out. And I'm very bullish on Cardano. We will be doing a chart on Cardano at the end of the stream. So stay tuned if you want to see that, because it's going to blow your mind. It's on the log scale. It's more long-term price analysis for Cardano. We have done that for Theta before. Maybe Anti-Social Maniac we'll do that again for Theta on one of these streams. But I'm just going to get into some news now as we're waiting for people to join. So I think I'll go ahead and get that started. Trip, how you feeling, by the way? How was the weekend? What's the vibe right now?
Doing pretty good. I think Bitcoin's obviously leading the way for the market for the most part. We're also going to cover Total 3, though, just to see what altcoins are doing in comparison. Right now, though, it looks like we are probably aiming for some pullback entries, but we do have some breakout entries coming for some of these bigger patterns coming as well.
Right. Yeah. And we are waiting for our usual suspects to come on stream. We changed our time this week. We were doing 10:30 a.m. EST last week. So that's sort of like beginning on the way to work. And now we're doing a little bit more midday. We're kind of experimenting with times. So let us know what times you guys prefer in the chat for live streams. But this week we decided to do it a little bit later. Theta needs a Michael Saylor. You know what? Like, why don't, yeah, they do. They need a Michael Saylor, but they just need a voice, marketing, a way to get the message out there. So I'm doing my part, my best at least, but I agree with you, Randall. And welcome to the stream. We've done many Theta charts. Maybe if we have time, we can take a look at the end when we do our altcoin charting segment. But for now, while we're waiting for our people to come on, I'm going to get started with a little bit of the news analysis because things are heating up. Oh, there we go. Our resident Viking, Real Ice Bear. For some reason, he knows how to say skål, which means cheers in Viking language. And he says he likes the 2:30 EST time. Yeah, I think it's more like people's lunchtime. Again, just let us know because we're pretty flexible on that, but we hope that that's a good time. Cardano will blow minds. Oh, yes. Touche. Touche. I completely agree. You got to go check out that episode that I did with Charles Hoskinson. It went live on Saturday. If you haven't seen it, talk about potential. I mean, it brings billions and billions. I mean, so much liquidity. I mean, talk about massive use case if Cardano can facilitate DeFi on Bitcoin. There is just a whole nother world that unlocks. And people are always like, hating on Cardano because it's been slow or this or that, or it doesn't do what it needs to do. Amazon started out just selling books. And I know this might not be the best analogy, but my point here is that companies can evolve and they can create new use cases and they can expand and they can pivot. And, the greatest ones will thrive. And Cardano is most certainly one of those greatest, in my opinion. Came for the guidance, stayed for the ATH vodka. Skull! Yeah, I've got some in the background here. I love it. I should be drinking, toasting to the all-time high, because that's my thing on these streams. I toast when we hit an all-time high. The problem is it's Monday morning and we've been hitting way too many all-time highs lately. It's a luxury problem. So we have Cardano. His name is just Cardano, Mr. Cardano. Ada, I've seen your podcast with Charles. Oh, by the way, I said last time I was going to show the comments on stage, so I'm going to do that now. I hope you enjoyed it. I really do. It was a different sort of podcast than I usually do with him. We focus on Bitcoin because it was filmed in Bitcoin Vegas. We were all in Vegas, and it was really cool. What did you think about his bullet ant ritual? Did you listen to that part? I mean, I thought that was pretty insane, the way he was describing it. He basically lets all these bullet ants just bite him everywhere, and it's like a neurotoxin, and it's like hell on earth for, I don't know how many hours, and apparently it makes you stronger mentally. He did it in the Amazon. We need these kind of brilliant leaders to guide us forward. Seriously, it's not just about that. It's about he's just got a brilliant mind, and the way that he can articulate this, he's a great spokesperson for our space. And yeah, all you Cardano people, Cardano gang, we're going to do a chart that will blow your mind at the end of the stream. It's Cardano ADA on a log scale, long-term price projections, and you are going to absolutely love it. So stay tuned for that. I'm just going to cover a few news bits, and then we're going to get into the charts with Trip, our lead admin from the Capital Mindset. Guys, for those of you who are just joining, we absolutely crushed it with the trading group last week. All of the setups that we posted on YouTube popped. I mean, if you were tuning in last week, having some ATH vodka and learning how to trade with us, you would have been successful, okay, in your trades last week. So stay tuned, because we want to do it again. We want to help guide you through this bull run, right? We got BitSource, AML Solutions Consulting, Theta. So we got Theta and Ada in the house. Can they be friends? Can we all be friends, that community? Can we do something together with Ada? That's what I want to know. Okay, so I'm going to just share my screen now. We'll get into a few news pieces for the day before we take it over to Trip. What is this? Juan, what is this? What are you? Welcome to the show. This is a live stream that I am doing with the Capital Mindset. Trip is our lead analyst, who's absolutely brilliant at reading the charts, analyzing the charts, and he's got different tools that many people don't use and don't know how to use. And we are sharing that with you here on the stream to help you be successful as well. So that's our main goal, is to provide that extra value outside of our trading group to those who want to tune in, listen in for free, follow along, and potentially join the group yourself. All right, so that's what this is. Okay, okay, you're asking about Cardano. He's a huge Cardano fan. I thought you were asking what this is. Yeah, we're all Cardano fans here, right? We are all ADA fans. I hold it in my long-term portfolio, and actually I just closed a very successful leverage trade thanks to the Capital Mindset Trading Group with Cardano. I wrote it all the way from 60 cents up to about 74. Phenomenal. Love Cardano, guys. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen here. Sorry about this. Can you see my screen okay? All good?
Looks good.
Oh, okay. So first up, we've got Donald Trump. Okay, just doing the Trump thing, right? He's saying, I go on TV and the market goes wild and I can move it just by talking. I mean, things are very, very different this cycle in terms of we've never had a president that pumps and moves the markets and launches his own meme coin. But on the flip side, he's also doing positive things for regulation for the administration. Gary Gensler is gone. Jerome Powell will probably be gone. And there are a lot of things happening here. And one of the things Charles Hoskinson said on the podcast yesterday for all you ADA lovers is that Trump is basically running our government like a startup. He's running everything like a startup. So 70% of the time it works out really well. And 30% of the time is just a little bit wacky, right? And so that's what's happening here. And we're just learning as we go, but it's really interesting times indeed. BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF is now the company's most profitable ETF, Bloomberg reports. That's pretty wild. I really like the chart that Trip always shows, which is the gold ETF versus Bitcoin. And we are just at the beginning of this massive gold rush, to put it in Michael Saylor terms. We are at the very beginning. We've shown that chart so many times on this live stream. I just want to like post it on my X and pin it and be like, look where we are in the grand scheme of things, you guys. A little bit of fun with ETH here. ETH in April versus ETH now. A lot of people were saying throughout this whole year, all the influencers, I'm dumping ETH. Maybe it would have been the right trade, but as far as an investment, I have no idea why people were dumping ETH. I mean, it's one of the most fundamental altcoins in the entire space. All the others are denominated in ETH. It's a secure chain that the institutions trust and want to build on. And of course, they're going to buy it. That's just my thought. I never was bearish on ETH. It's just taken a little bit of while to warm up. El Salvador's strategic Bitcoin reserve holdings reach USD all-time high of 760 million. This man was a visionary. I remember back when he first did this and everybody was sort of like, what? This guy is insane. He's crazy. Bukele, what is he doing? But it takes those kind of like bold leaders to take those risks to get the rest of the world to start thinking. And I actually might go do an interview with President Bukele. I was invited by the ambassador a few Bitcoin conferences back where I met her. And I think it would be really cool to get inside, the mind of somebody who it's not easy to be the trailblazer and the one that goes first, right? So kudos to him. Just a few more pieces. The total global crypto market cap surpasses $3.88 trillion. I think we're headed for 8 to 10 this cycle, potentially beyond if it is a super cycle like we've discussed before. A few more. So this is something that really made me think. Bitcoin is quietly making new all-time highs every day. No excitement, no euphoria, no FOMO. Perfect setup for a massive rally to 200,000. So that I found pretty interesting in that it is a little bit different from the last all-time high last cycle because retail was involved. I mean, it was mass mania across the news. And this time it's sort of like Bitcoin's quite, I ask random people, hey, have you bought Bitcoin? Oh no, where is it at? Is it like 60,000 now? It's like, no, it's at 120,000 and they're shocked. Right. So retail is just really doesn't feel like they're really aware of what's happening right now yet. So that is another sign as to maybe we're just getting started. We haven't had that injection of liquidity. The Fed hasn't cut the rates yet. I mean, there's a lot of things that point to we might still have a pretty big rally to come. And finally, Bitcoin flipped Amazon to become the 5th largest asset by market cap in the world. I remember last week I was saying how Amazon had a tough time in its first 10 years. It had a ton of volatility. At one point, it was down by like 70 to 80 or even 90%, right? In the dot-com bust. And then it came back to be the 4th largest company in the world. Now it's the 5th or the 4th. Now it's overtaken by Bitcoin, which is phenomenal, guys. I just want to set the tone. I like to do that every stream just so we know where we're at and just how big of a movement we're looking at here. So yeah, I want to just shout out some people in the chat because I couldn't see while I was doing my news. Love Cardano. It will fly. David, you're going to freak out with this chart we're going to show you at the end of the stream, for lack of better words. You're going to love the chart if you stick around. Pipeline, what's up? How we doing? Yeah. Sup, pal? See Watchman in the house. Viewers picking up. Yeah, we're kind of experimenting with time. So you guys let us know what works best for you. Touche. I think everyone will have a meme coin in the future. It'll act as your popularity for the masses. Kind of a pat on the back coin. Yeah, could be. I mean, see, it doesn't have to be the traditional sense for altcoins that it used to be. Whereas, we have to find, they're not all going to be winning horses. Some of them will have utility just within their circles, right? And maybe your fans and your own fans. It goes back to that. How do you make money as an artist, right? I've interviewed a lot of artists on my podcast, and it goes back to that super fan theory. If you have 1,000 true fans who love what they do and they just want to spend $100 on you per year, do the math, right? Do the math. That is a phenomenal income. And then if you have 100 super fans, that's all you need. So potentially these act as sort of like a currency within your own group. And it doesn't have to be this global thing that has to be in the race to be the winning horse, right? That's how I envision this. So yeah, I think you could be right, Touche. A-team, where's my A-team? What up? An interview with the president of El Salvador. Yes, Watchman. That is right. It's been in the works for like 2.5 years now. I just should make it happen. I should just go there and do it and take a tour of Bitcoin City. So I'd be really happy to do that. I'm here because of Pipeline Jarvis Taylor. Well, thank you, Pipeline, for bringing all these amazing people in, and welcome. I think you're going to like what you see here, Jarvis, because we've got some amazing charts for you soon. Pipeline sharing the alpha is that. Yeah, Pipeline, I appreciate you, man. Guys, hit the like button, please. It helps us so much as we're looking to grow the channel. If you like what if you like these streams and you like learning about the charts, it really does help. So in Europe, we still don't have a new all-time high in euros. In January, Bitcoin was at 106,300. Today, 104.7. Okay, well, that's interesting. So I'm going to have to toast to like different all-time highs in different currencies now. I'm also in Europe, Cardano. Timothy the frog, what's up? What's up? Light, hey, thank you, Solomon, thank you. Okay, guys, that's enough out of me. I just wanted to set the tone, get you all excited for what's coming, tell you what's on my agenda. And what I'm seeing is phenomenal bullish in the fundamental arena. Now we're going to go to Trip's arena, which are the charts, and he has some amazing stuff prepared for you today. So Trip, I think I'll add your charts up to the stage now.
Okay, perfect. Do you have them all ready to go there? Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Let's see here. Let's put us down here. So these are our winners, guys. First and foremost, these are the winners from last week that we actually shared on the stream and in the group. So if you would have just acted on whatever and it's not just from last week, this is over the lifetime of when we posted the trade, but we did post a lot of these setups last week, even that if you had bought last week, you'd even be in profit. So we're crushing it in the trading group. Trip, I'll let you go ahead and explain it.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, this is just a portion actually of some of the winners. These are some of the best ones we've seen, and really there's an XLM BTC chart as well, just to show the comparison of how much these coins outperformed Bitcoin during that big move recently. So we're going to go over a couple of these as well as new entry setups that we're going to go into after we cover some Bitcoin data first.
Yeah. So these are all the winners. I mean, people last week was insane. And you know what? Like, we're going to have these opportunities all throughout the bull run. So for all of you who just joined, we extended the summer sale for the Capital Mindset Trading Group. The link is in the description below. You get a 20% off until Friday across all groups, leverage, spot, combos, everything, because we want to give you the best shot at being able to invest in yourself and give you a bonus for having tuned in. Right. So without further ado, let's continue. Just going to read a few comments here. Grubbing on fries. Oh, that sounds good. I had 5 guys yesterday because we do have that here in Spain. And that was so good. So good. Fries are okay. Good. People are hungry. It's lunchtime. All right. Let's go ahead and continue, Trip.
Yeah, no worries. So we're just looking at the first one here. Pengu is probably the best setup. I think it was probably one of the best performers all around in the market over the past week. So we entered this trade. This is actually back in the end of June, I think around the 28th or the 26th or so, when we first had this setup posted in groups. So that one soared for up to 219%. It's kind of ridiculous for that one. The next one we have was H-bar. So we had this pattern drawn. It was an inverse head and shoulders. You could have drawn it as the ascending triangle at the time too, but 57% for H-bar so far there. And then the XLM BTC chart. This one was a surprise. We've seen this happen before in the past. Usually when XRP starts moving, XLM is either right behind it or it takes over and it ends up being the leader over XRP. And that's what we saw this time. XLM versus BTC, that's 83% more Bitcoin if you were trading the XLM BTC pair. And then the last one here, we're going to cover this one in a second too, as one of our newer setups or a better entry. This is Turbo. This just popped actually this morning, and that was for a 33% move. We posted the setup last night here for the break above the 0.382 fib level, and today it actually ended up being the #1 top gainer on Binance. So again, yeah, we've got quite a record for nailing some of the top performers in the market on a regular basis. It's pretty exciting. So at least you know that.
Last night you posted Turbo, and overnight it did a 33%. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, last night I posted the setup, and then by this morning it had already done this move. Yeah, so pretty strong move so far, and I think we have a lot more of these to come. We're going to cover a few of those.
Yeah, and I want to point out here that we do teach people how to trade, so you can pick out your own setups. But one of the best parts of the group is that Trip and all the admins are, sorting through all the setups to find the absolute best ones for you guys. And that's why they're consistently in the list of top gainers for the day, right? And that's what this group excels at and helps you with. apart from teaching you how to trade. So I just wanted to point that out. It is not easy to do, and takes out that work for you at least.
Right. So the next thing we have to focus on now, we've watched dominance up here. So earlier we had this descending triangle. If you were to draw a line just across the bottom here, and then your descending line across the top. So this descending triangle had broken to the downside. And what typically happens too is if you see an ascending triangle on the inverse example, they usually turn into a rising channel as it starts moving upwards. When you get a descending triangle that breaks lower, usually it falls into a channel or falls into a wedge. So now we've been watching this descending wedge forming on dominance on the 1 hour chart. And you have also a symmetrical triangle forming at the bottom of this pattern. So this could actually break either direction. It's got a 50-50 chance of breaking either to the upside or to the downside just for this triangle. What we'd be looking for next if it breaks to the upside is maybe a touch on the upper trend line of this falling wedge. And then hopefully we get another rejection and just keep continuing in this channel as we go up and down, and hopefully make lower lows and lower highs along the way. If this channel were to break to the downside when this triangle breaks lower, then you can expect a parabolic drop. That's usually what happens when you see a channel that breaks to the opposite side of the expected direction. So a falling wedge has about a 68% chance of breaking to the upside. If this does break lower, we could see another sharp move coming for dominance, which just means that it's another time for alts to take over and do another big move as they continue moving about in their patterns.
Oh yeah, and this is about the only chart, guys, that I would love to see a parabolic drop on, right? Like this is about the only chart that is true for. So
right.
Yeah, let's monitor that. I feel like Joe B over here. Are you trying to provoke me? No. ETH is a failed trash coin. Period. ADA actually functions. Look, it doesn't actually really matter what you think about ETH or if you want to hold it or not. But seeing as how a lot of the altcoins are denominated in ETH, if ETH has a big run, it is only good for the market. And you know what? Like, I'm a huge ADA fan. I do hold ETH, all the above. Charles, who notoriously was a little bit polemic or, didn't like, how should I say that? Wasn't a fan of other chains, recently came out and said, hey, I want to work on making things more interoperable, he's working on Cardano bringing DeFi to Bitcoin, which we never expected either, right? So I think there are ways in which we can make that work and make the ecosystem grow if we try to, have that sort of mindset. But yeah, I get it. Everybody has their coins. Watchmen, seasoned fries. I love the barbecue, but you guys like sweet potato fries? Because those are some of my favorite, and you're all making me hungry right now. Let's see. A team in the house. Andrew, thank you, man. We can always count on you. I didn't know with the change of time if we'd be seeing you. CPTN.pog. I don't know who it is, but it's a pogger in the house who shared the stream. Thank you so much, Pogger. I love Pogs. You guys remember Pogs? Maybe you're not as old as me, but in the 90s, it was a fun game that we all played in the playground, and now it is a huge project on chain. They're coming on chain, and yeah, Pogs for the win this cycle. Solomon, no. Let's see. I wish I had stacked more ADA. Hey, you're never too late. Okay. I remember looking at these prices last cycle before ADA took off to like $3 and change, right? Like, you're going to see the chart at the end of this, Watchman, and you're going to be surprised at just where ADA can land, over time if it continues to grow like it's growing. So Phoenix to the moon. Not sure what Phoenix is. Let's fucking Pog. Sorry. Oops. LF Pog. You got me to say it, but yeah, that's like something the community in the Pog community says. I've done some Twitter spaces with them, and they're so cool. Stacking more that away, Watchman. I'm stacking more too. I got a big stack of ADA. I'm ready to go. Trip, sorry, but there's just so much energy today in the chat. So let's get back to it.
Okay. Also, are you bringing the those messages up to the front? I can't see them if you are.
Well, the comments should be playing on the screen in the video.
Okay.
So let me know if you guys all see them. But I missed some of the X comments. Sometimes they happen. I'd rather have Cardano than Solana, says Funky Dog. To be honest, I sort of agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you on that one. I think it has more upside. Bitcoin is like gravity. Do you mean it only goes down? Because right now it seems like it's defying gravity. But yeah. Okay, Trip.
I think he means that Bitcoin pulls everything with it. So it's more like
Oh,
the force
yes, you
behind.
see. I see the force. You can look at it two different ways. I needed Tripp's perspective to help me out there.
Right.
Andrew says we've been observing these crazy spikes with XRP meme coins. Oh, you're in the XRP meme coin trenches. Wow, that's getting down and dirty. I think that they will moon. Okay. I mean, I'm not playing them around much in the meme trenches. You know what? Like, I'm just really enjoying the leverage trading. If you know what you're doing, or you're learning what you're doing in the group, and you have these mentors, it's sort of like, I don't know. I just feel like it's for me, it's a better play than digging the meme coin trenches, because I'm not 24/7 into what's happening. But if you are, Andrew, I mean, let us know. Let us know the alpha. You remember Pogs, Jarvis? Oh my gosh. You know, the Pogs came on our supercar rally. So the ATH Vodka, our partners, they own a supercar rally company here in London, and the Poggers came. They came, and they had a McLaren. It was so cool. But yeah, I have a ton of slammers too. Trip Vision. Yeah, Trip's about to take us all into another universe right now. But we keep having these chats. We're just having a good time today. It's Monday. We need the vibes to be high, energy rolling. So that's it. That's all we're doing. Now we're going to see what's going on with Bitcoin here.
Yeah, Bitcoin on the 1-day chart. So in our last couple of videos, we were talking about this chart and the 1.272 fib level. That was at about 119, 120,000. That was the psychological resistance that we were expecting if Bitcoin were to break above this range locally. I think the resistance back here was pretty much 110,000 is what we needed to break. So as you can see, as soon as we broke that 110K mark, Bitcoin was able to instantly make a nice move to the upside. We can measure that move, and it's already been, I mean, for Bitcoin, a 12% move is huge, right? Those are the moments you don't see too often. Normally Bitcoin's either consolidating or taking its time, but then when you do see it pump, those 10% moves tend to be pretty more or less common, but when they do show up, they're pretty decent moves all around. We're going to zoom in here now just to see how Bitcoin is reacting to this 1.272 fib level. Right now, we're just on the daily chart. We're going to zoom into the 1 hour. And what we're focused on here is a retest of the 1.272. So back here, same idea. We were pretty much bumping up against this fib level as resistance. We made a nice break to the upside. And now if we can confirm this as support, then we're expecting a move up to the 1.618, which is at about 131,277. So really exciting times for Bitcoin here. We just need to see this SR flip. An SR flip just means support resistance flip. It's when when resistance turns into support. So really exciting to see what's going to happen over the next week. Right now, Bitcoin looks very bullish. There's nothing too much to be worried about yet, although we do have some oversold conditions on some of the higher time frames. But when you do see Bitcoin start trending higher on these higher time frame charts, usually that RSI can stay pegged to overbought levels for quite a long period of time. So even if you see it on the daily chart, you can stay up there for a week, maybe 2 to 3 weeks, and it'll just look like some consolidation along the top on the RSI. So we're going to be keeping a close eye on that, but really, I don't see much else going on. The only thing I'd be worried about is if we start seeing major high time frame divergences, like bearish divergences near those overbought levels. So until we see that, I see no reason why Bitcoin has to stop, at least in the short term.
Okay, that's interesting, because I know a lot of people are sort of on edge, like, oh, Bitcoin's going to crash at any minute. It's gone up fast. It's gone up high. And everybody's sort of waiting. This is the sentiment I get, right? For Bitcoin to come back down. I mean, what are the odds? So if we don't maintain this level of support, what are we looking at here as far as structure, and if it invalidations?
Well, we do have a CME gap that showed up in this area of the chart. So that's at about 116 to 113. I don't have a CME chart handy at the moment, but that would be an idea, is that we come down to fill the gap that's in this area. You can just highlight it here just to get a visual, but it's about from here to about here or so. So in this area, that's it's a probable idea for a pullback if Bitcoin were to lose this 1.272 fib level. The only thing that is different about this gap is that it happened during the week. Usually we see gaps form over the weekend when orders haven't been filled and the spot market is still moving, and then the CME opens and it kind of just catches up to where the spot market is, and that's what creates those gaps. So this was a different gap, where people call it a breakaway gap, for example, and this is might not be as much of a concern, but we really just have to see if it's going to be something we have to worry about down the road if we were to lose this 1.272 fib level.
Right. So nothing cataclysmic. It's just, and it doesn't even have to equal death and destruction for altcoins if Bitcoin were to pull back here either at this stage. So but yeah, let's monitor that. We'll keep you updated in real time every single day, Monday through Friday. So far, we're going to be doing it. When Moon says, Ace, hey, we just got the bull moon, if that's what you're asking, but I'm guessing you're asking when is, I mean, we're already going to the moon, man. Like Bitcoin is at all-time highs, but it goes back to that tweet that I read earlier that said, you know, Bitcoin all-time highs, things are raging, and yet it feels like retail doesn't even notice. Literally, I go and say, I ask my friends, hey, or they'll ask me, hey, how's Bitcoin doing? Isn't it like 60, 70,000 now? I mean, they have no idea what world, what rock are they living under, or what cave are we in? That's what I'm wondering. So I just, based off sentiment alone, I feel like we've got a long way to go in this cycle, or at least, you know, potentially super cycle. We'll see. We'll see. So yeah, hey, by the way, Andrew, I'm no stranger to degen gambling in the trenches. Okay. I love that stuff. It's just, I don't have much time for that lately. So we'll just take your alpha, you know, that's chill. What up, Wild Dog? Welcome, welcome, welcome. H bar price prediction. We did go over an H bar chart earlier. Maybe we'll have time to do that at the end, but I am really bullish on H bar. I know the team. I've been having a lot of conversations with them. They're doing phenomenal things. So yeah, locked and loaded H bar, Cardano, XRP. Let's go. Yeah.
Cool. We'll jump back into just to cover this chart again. This is the multi-time frame chart for Bitcoin. It's showing time frames from the 1 hour to the 4 hour on the top, and then the 6 hour, 8 hour, 12 hour, and 1 day on the bottom. So I'm just going to show this example down here. I might highlight it so it's easier to see. This is the daily chart for Bitcoin. Now, as you can see here, there's a lot of times where Bitcoin has ran up to these overbought conditions and stayed up in this area for a while. So we've only just recently broken into overbought territory. So I think there's definitely some room for it to stay here for a bit. If you look back here, just in May, we broke above, and that's when we were climbing higher. So even though we were in overbought levels, the price continued to climb for a while. So I don't think that necessarily because Bitcoin is overbought on the daily time frame that it's the nail on the coffin that's going to send it lower quite yet, at the very least. We could see a lot more moves to the upside coming. We really just have to make sure that we stay pegged. And then once we start to come back down from those overbought levels, that's usually when you start to see the correction. So same thing back here. It's like you stayed above for a while, but when it came back down is when it started to correct. And then you stayed above for a while. And then when it broke lower, it started to correct. Same thing over here. It stayed above for a while, and then it came lower when it broke down below that overbought conditions. So really, we're just expecting to see the same sort of thing roll out.
Okay, so we'll be paying attention to whether or not the RSI is going to come back down and break lower, but it can stay pegged and overbought for quite a while.
Right. Yeah, there could be a bunch more swings, and that could be maybe a week or two, maybe up to a month. Just kind of got to play it by ear and see how it goes.
Okay.
The next big bullish chart that we need to pay attention to, though, this is the 2017 comparison chart on log scale, where we had this rising channel. We talked about this chart a number of times too in our lives. So what we were focused on is this dotted resistance level currently, and we were comparing it to this dotted resistance level previously in the 2014 cycle. So after we broke above that dotted line, we saw a move to the upper trend line, and then it broke higher, and a retest, and then it actually kept going even further from there. So I think there's a chance that now we could be on that trajectory where we're heading towards that upper trend line again. So even just to the upper trend line, we're talking about 187, maybe up to 200,000 just to this area alone. So if this were to follow even closer and continue following, the move that we've only seen already is just the tip of the iceberg, and we really haven't seen the crazy part coming yet.
That sort of lines up with the current sentiment, which is that retail has no idea. The tweet that I went over before that says no excitement, no euphoria, no FOMO. It sort of does line up with that sentiment, together with the fact that the Fed hasn't lowered the rate yet, right? So there's a lot of different indicators pointing toward the fact that maybe, just maybe, we only are at the tip of the iceberg, including this chart and so many other charts. So let's see. Very exciting times.
Very exciting indeed. The next one we're going to look at too, we'll start with the Bitcoin parabola. So we were talking about this area in the green circle compared to this area in the green circle, and these were shorter term consolidations that we had compared to the longer term that we've seen previously. So we were expecting that if this was a shorter term move, we should see a break higher soon, or coming at the time. So now we've gotten that move out of this consolidation, and base 3 seems to be complete, and we're heading into the next base of base 4, and that could go as high as the 2.272 or up to the 2.618, which is still around 155,000 for the 2.618 or 137,000 for the 2.272. But again, we got to remember that this parabola that we're watching might not be the biggest thing we can imagine. This is probably the biggest structure that we can focus on currently. So it could blow past those numbers if we see that move up to this rising channel upward trend line. Next thing we're going to look at is the total 3 chart that we've all been waiting for to see if it was going to break. And just lately, it's starting to poke its head up above this resistance. That resistance has about 944 billion, and if we do break that level, we're aiming for the 1.13 trillion dollar level that we've also talked about a number of times. So this breakout needs to confirm over the next few days. We don't want to see it come back down. It just means that altcoins are probably going to take longer to do some really big moves again, but maybe if it does come down, we're looking for a retest of the 200 MA on the daily as our bearish scenario. It's a semi-bearish and semi-bullish idea combined into one. Short term, it's going to be a pullback. It's going to be, pullbacks in the market, but it could be the retest that it needs before it can actually go much, much higher.
Right. So they're both bullish in essence. One is just it's going to take a little longer. All of us here can have patience, right? Am I right? I mean, we waited this long. Then it just gives you longer to pack your bags. That's it. And you can trade the ranges in between. But yeah, so like if we do maintain above that local resistance and flip it into support, which is about 944 billion, it's going to be amazing, right? So now is the time. Now is the time to get focused, to join the group, to tune into these lives, to do everything you humanly can to understand what is going to happen, because it can be life-changing. These next 4 to 6 months can be life-changing for you if you apply yourself. Just wanted to shout out Zach in the house, Zach Box, really talented videographer, but also trader. What up? He's in Marbella with me, so that's cool to see. XCN, I know he's in the trenches too and doing a lot of research. So XCN and Maeve, he says, are good ones to look at. We'll have to take a look at those. But thanks for tuning in, Zach. And I see you zoomed in here to the total 3.
Yeah, total 3 on the 4 hour. So it's the same as the Bitcoin chart. We're looking for that retest back here of the 1.272. So now we're doing the same thing with the total 3 chart, looking for a retest of that local resistance that we were watching. So on the 4 hour, it's already broken above. We're just waiting for that daily close above that level. So at the current point, we're considering this as a retest. So by the end of the day, we want to see that this candle is closed and then another candle opens to confirm that that was indeed a retest on the daily chart.
And would that be enough to sort of say, okay, this is retested successfully? Like, what would you consider, or how would you approach that, Trip?
For the daily chart, I just want to see that 1 day candle close at the very least. Again, it's kind of hard to estimate volume. We can turn the volume on here. It does show a big move has come. If you compare it to the previous candles, this is definitely looking like a breakout candle already. But volume's kind of a weird thing when you're talking about the total 3 chart. You can't directly trade it. So no traders can actually influence this chart directly. So really, I kind of wonder, what does the volume truly represent? And I don't really understand how it's propagated or even able to be shown on a chart like this. But either way, we're going to take it for face value and just assume that this is a breakout candle, just the same as any other altcoin. And really, that's all we're looking for, is just a candle close above this level.
Okay, so this breaking above the local resistance plus dominance breaking down could be the perfect storm for altcoins to just take off in a huge way. So I hope you guys are ready and tuning in. And I think we're up to, what are we going to cover? Our trades next, or do we have one more chart before that?
No, we're going to go into Turbo next.
Okay, so guys, before we go to these altcoins, we're going to discuss Turbo now, and we have 3 of them for you. These are all setups that could potentially do big things, but smash the like button, share this stream, please. It helps so much. We really appreciate you all. We do have the link to our trading group in the description for 20% off. I just want to remind you one more time before I forget. We'd love to have you all join. And also let us know what charts you want us to go over. If we have time now at the end, we'll do our best, but want to give you guys as much value as possible. Also, Let me know where you're tuning in from. I want to hear what's going on in your life as we chart these, because this is the most fun portion of the analysis, in my opinion. So yeah, you just let us know what's going on, guys, and let's dive right into this. I mean, we've got Turbo potentially going to torpedo or turbo speed up to these measured moves. I mean, this one, when it moves, it moves. So let's talk about it. It's an AI derived meme coin, right?
Right. Yeah. AI created. I think it was the first one ever. So it's
Right.
got a bit of novelty to it in that sense, you could say. This is actually a chart from earlier last, I guess it was yesterday, July 14th, just to make sure. Maybe it was earlier today. Yeah, this is the one I posted early this morning, actually, around 2 o'clock in the morning, UTC time. So we were watching for a break above the 0.382 fib level, and very quickly we got that move. It's actually moving right now, it seems to be. But that was right about here at this level. So it's already been about a 40, plus what's already happened with this wick. It's already about a 50% move just over the past 12 hours or so for Turbo.
Wow.
So now the
so if you
current
had
pattern...
been in the group and seen this, you could have traded that and already been 50% up.
Right, yes. So now we're looking for a break of this larger pattern, right? You zoom out to the 12-hour, we have a bigger cup and handle. Cup and handle seem to be very common on altcoins and other coins in general. So now the entry is watching for a break above this cup and handle neckline, and we should see a move potentially up to the upper resistance of the range at 0.135 cents. So if we measure that move from here, you're still looking at about 109% to go from current levels.
Wow. Okay. So we still got a huge move brewing, even though we just did a 50% move in 12 hours, which a lot of our members did catch. Megan Moss tuning in from Pennsylvania. Love to have you. Love to have you. Love to see another lady on the stream. We're crushing it, Megan. We're doing an absolutely fantastic. We had a great week last week. We're going to have a great week this week. And actually, in the past 12 hours, we're up 50% on Turbo. So all of you who love meme coins, I mean, there you go. This one loves to move when it moves. So yeah, just breaking above that cup and handle neckline for the next move up, which Trip says is about 110%. So phenomenal, phenomenal. Also, Andrew, I want to address what you said, because this ATH vodka, okay, my vodka brand that I'm a co-founder of, I have to say this because no one's ever talked about this. You asked about Flare. Actually, our app and our whole protocol is built on Flare, and Flare is actually phenomenal. I mean, you guys definitely should look into Flare. We're probably going to look into doing something with them, maybe joint events or awareness or education. But it is associated with the XRP ecosystem, and they're working a lot with institutions, and the whole thing is phenomenal. I mean, it's interoperable, so we can literally, our whole thing is you're going to scan the top or tap the top. It's already selling in Costco UK, so it's already in a multinational. You'll be able to go and buy this bottle and tap the top and win anywhere from $1 to $1,000 in our token, which is built on Flare. But since Flare is interoperable, we can literally wrap any asset. We can wrap Bitcoin, we can wrap stocks, gold, and put it on the top of these things and have that as a campaign. In fact, we're going to hide a Bitcoin. So that's just one of the functionalities that Flare has, and it's really, really cool. So thanks for bringing it up. I mean, you gave me the opportunity to do some shameless promotion here, but also awareness, because I think Flare is going to do absolutely amazing. And the staking is phenomenal too. So yeah, I just wanted to put that on your guys' radar. Hey, can we check out Supra? Okay, Watchmen, maybe we'll have time to do that now at the end. Yeah, guys, throw your charts in the chats. Let us know. Next up, we've got Super. So you guys know Super is a colleague, Elio Trades, big YouTuber, cool guy. We all know each other, seen each other around at events and things. This is his coin. And I always like that as sort of a background, because you know that if they're putting their brand and their name to it, they're going to do everything humanly possible to make it amazing, unless they're pumpers and dumpers, which he's not. So yeah, he's done a great job, and it's looking good.
Yeah, the chart looks pretty good too. We have another same thing going on here. You got a cup and handle forming at the bottom. And if you wanted to, you could call this a larger double bottom structure. So if you highlight this bottom and then clone this line to show the other, then really this turns into a much bigger pattern. So this would be like a catalyst pattern within the bigger pattern. So the resistance level for Super is at about 89.90 cents. Once that level breaks, it's already breaking above the 1-day 200 MA. So this is already a very good sign. But once you get a break above that level, these are your short-term targets, maybe at $1.18 first, and then $1.56. And then we should test the neckline of that double bottom around $2.17. So the measured move for this big double bottom, if you got in from this level at the breakout, We're going to look at the measured move here. Up to the top would still be about a 336% move. So
Wow.
super also moves very quickly when it starts going. So I think it's another one to pay attention to. It could also go into a turbo mode like turbo.
I like that. And for those of you who are thinking, man, I just missed everything. I missed all the pumps. I missed all the action on last week's streams, and all of them already popped. Not true. Trip is over here finding all the best charts in real time as they come up, right? So we just posted Turbo as it came up, and it did that 50% in 12 hours. But this one hasn't popped yet, right? Super is still gearing up and ready to go. Turbo is gearing up for its next leg up. And if you take action, you can really succeed from just watching these YouTubes, and that's what we want. And if you want to take it to the next level, then you can join the group and you can see the setups, you can learn how to trade, and either way you can still get in and capture a lot of those gains, right? So and even if you're just an investor, because I know we have a lot of Theta investors, Cardano investors watching this, you can just get an idea of the macro picture from the total 3 charts that the Trip goes over, which is altcoins, Bitcoin's next move. That all affects your portfolio. So that's our goal, is to kind of like cater to all audiences, and and give you these setups. I want to know everybody who's on the stream and takes these trades or gets in these trades eventually. I want to hear about it. Okay. So we're doing this as a community. It's a lot of fun, and we get a lot of great feedback. So pumped. I'm pumped this Monday morning or afternoon or night. We're global.
Right. We can take a look at the next one now, the ones everyone's waiting for. This is the ADA chart. So, oh yeah, I've got them both set up here. Perfect.
Cardano people, you better be listening. Let me know that you're listening in the comments. I want all the Cardano people to come out for this. It is going to wow you, really. I mean, it's fun. It's cool to look at these like a little bit more in like a zoomed out way. But yeah, go ahead, Trip.
No worries. Yeah. So the possible double bottom that we had, the entry that we had posted in group, we were already planning for this bottom tap on support. So that was the entry that we already had in the group. If we were to measure just the profits from this level already so far, we're already up about 42. I guess if you might have sold up there, you're getting about a 45% move or so at the max gain potential so far. But right now, we need to see that this level, you see it was resistance here, and it acted as support here. Back here it was support. This is now becoming a very important level, and we're currently testing it locally. So we're going to zoom into, I'll go to the 1 hour chart just to see. So that level, if you wanted to try to get in on the retest, you could start opening a position here. I wouldn't necessarily go all in with your position amount at this level necessarily. Really, you can start scaling in from this level though. So if it doesn't hold and you come back down to the lower part of this range, then you can start adding to your position again here. Otherwise, you're looking for a break above the recent high at around 76 cents to add to your position again. So again, scaling in is a safer way to trade. It puts you more in control of your trade when you're scaling in, because you still have money on your side. It's like you still have ammunition for the war. So if you want to start scaling in at these levels, you could get a slightly better profit potential than waiting for the breakout of this upward trend line. So I'll zoom back out again. This neckline for the pattern is a little higher up, around 84 cents. So if you didn't want to wait till that happens, you'd be missing out on, that's about a 14% move already. So if you waited for the breakout, you'd be missing out on a little bit of profit, but not too much. Otherwise, the measured move after the break of the neckline would still be around 34% more for ADA. So I think it's definitely a good setup already. We're going to go to the next chart and see what it looks like on the 5-day chart. So zoomed out, you wouldn't have been able to see this as clearly until you zoom out. So again, you have another potential cup and handle forming on a really high time frame chart. So the measured move for this might only be up to about, actually, let's measure it here just to be sure. So we'll go from the top down to the bottom of the pattern, and then we'll pull this up. And it is pretty much right at $2.10 for the measured move for ADA, just for the cup and handle. But again, it doesn't have to be the end all target. It could be just the beginning of the structure changing on these higher time frames. So if you were to get in on the break of this yellow trend line that we have forming here, then you have a potential profit of up to 309% to the top of this range for ADA on the 5-day. And then, as we talked about previously before too, a lot of these structures could be forming massive patterns that seem inconceivable. So you might have another bottom here from the left side, and adding its second bottom here on the right side. It's actually a higher low. So here's your low, and this whole bottom is actually higher than the previous low. So this is a trend change idea on a really high time frame. So the idea here is that if this double bottom starts to play out, then you can zoom out even further, and we're looking for a measured move target for ADA up here around $5.09. Now, this is just the linear scale chart, and as we talked about in our previous videos, there are times in the market where log scale measured moves are more favorable, or at least they should be looked at. You should be aware of them, so you're not getting out too soon, or before the market has really had a chance to fully take off to its max extent. So these log scale measured moves are going to be dramatically different. We're going to take a look and see what that looks like now for ADA. So we'll flip on that log scale switch, and I'm just going to get rid of the 200 MA for a moment, and I'm only going to measure the distance from this high down to this local bottom range. So there we get some crazier targets again. But like we've seen before, when we measure the move back here, I'm just going to go over that really quickly again. This measured move for the pattern, when you had this inverse head and shoulders in the 2019 to 2021 structure. I'm going to measure the move here. I'll draw the pattern in super quick. Same thing we talked about, right? If you measure the move from the top to the bottom, the log scale measurement comes a heck of a lot closer than the regular linear scale chart. So we'll turn off log scale, and we'll see what that move looked like if you had traded the measured move normally. So this pattern ends up being really tiny in comparison. Let's clean that up a little bit. And again, just to show the difference, right? That's all this is doing here. It's hard to grab. There we go. So this would have been your linear scale measured move, around 32 cents or so. So now that we've turned on that log scale, we can see how much closer ADA was to hitting that target way up here. This is still at about $1.60, $1.70 or so, and definitely much closer to the actual target than that linear scale measured move all around. So again, we're looking now for ADA. If we were to play out the max bullish scenario, we could see a move up to, gotta turn that log scale on. Next massive move for ADA could be as high as $43. I know that sounds crazy, but yeah, it's basically it's a little more than 10x from its previous high.
Wow. And from here, I mean, that's how much would that be then from the levels we're at now?
From the current levels, yeah, we can give that a measure. We'll say right about here if it breaks that trend line we talked about. So you're looking at about a 5,900% move for ADA. Now, again, when you get to the log scale chart and you start seeing these over and over and over, Bitcoin has done this before, where if you measured on log scale and you expected it the next time, you might not hit the full 2.0, but maybe you're aiming for something safer around the 1.618. But even still, that's about a $15 ADA, which would still equate to about a 2,000% move on the safer side.
Imagine just being able to buy ADA and potentially having it do that. I mean, without any leverage, without any other additional risk, other than just buying and holding. I remember I did a 65x on Cardano when I bought it at 4 cents back in the last blip on the radar that Trip showed. And it raged all the way to $3. So, I mean, these moves are possible. And yes, that is what he said, Watchman, at the very, very top of the range, the 2.0, it's $43. Now, we're not saying that this is going to happen or necessarily that even, we're just pointing it out on the log scale what's possible, because it did do this. And Trip just showed in the last cycle how that was relevant. So just to make sure you get this in context, but this helps you just zoom out and just be aware of the broader situation and longer term targets, right? So it is mind blowing. And I knew you guys would love this. Let me know if you love it in the comments, because this is Trip stuff and man, it's brilliant. It really helps you get this in perspective. All your Cardano bulls, just keep that in mind, man. We are, we're just getting started here. So I think that's really cool to go over. And I really appreciate those kind of charts. So yeah, Trip, that's a massively bullish and very cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. I'm excited for it too. And I don't doubt that we could hit that log scale measured move just based off of what happened last time. So I'm keeping my mind open for that opportunity for sure.
Yeah.
We're going to take a look at Theta, I guess, because everyone's asking about Theta. I already have a
All
chart
right,
here
Theta,
ready
we
to
got
go.
a lot of Theta family in here. Theta gang.
Yeah,
What's
might
up?
as well cover it every video.
Yeah.
Okay, so same thing. We were talking about this last time. It hasn't been that long since we hit this resistance, and now we're still struggling at this resistance around 82 cents for Theta. The best optimal entry is if you come back here for a retest of the 0.272 fib level at about 73.5 cents. That's where you'd want to get in, and you want to make sure that that level holds. So around 73 cents is the best entry that I can see. Otherwise, you want to see if you can break above this red dotted line at about 83 cents for more upside. So again, the 1-day 200 MA is now sitting at about $1.13. I think by the time we get a move to start running to the upside, this 200 MA could end up lining up with the neckline of this bigger structure resistance. So we could aim for about $1 at least in the short term for Theta.
All right, getting back above $1. The rest is history. See, we do have a lot of Theta lovers in the community here. Theta and Cardano are amazing. Yeah, they're two of my top holds. So I agree. I am Constantine. Theta. Yes, yes, yes. Pipeline, XCN, HBAR, XRP. XCN, what was that again? Remind me. HBAR and XRP for sure. For sure. We do cover those a lot on the stream. There's been some requests for XRP. Somebody just asked about it. Did we cover XRP yet? Big Seki. We are going to cover it now. So let's see.
Right. Yeah, I already had this chart ready to go as well. It's easy to find. To keep in mind, I have about 70 to 80 charts open at all times. It's a little bit of a hunt to find everything on demand. But either way, we have the XRP chart here. We talked about this before with this triangle breakout that we were looking for and the break above the 200 MAs. So we've gotten both of those confirmations so far, and it's already ticked off the 0.618 fib resistance level as a target, and potentially we're tapping this resistance here at this previous high. This is from March 2nd. So if we just draw that in really quick too. This is pretty much the level that we're aiming for at local resistance. So if you get rejected from that level, we want to see a retest of the 0.618. That could probably be a better entry for XRP if you're looking for an entry. Otherwise, you're looking for a break above this level at about $2.93. You could probably round that up to about $3, just as a nice round number. And then once that breaks, we're looking for these moves to the resistance of the pattern, which is about $3.40. And then the extensions above are at 1.272 for $3.88, the 1.618 at $4.50, and then the 2.0 at the top at about $5.18. So right now it looks good. It's had a very decent move so far. Nothing compared to its brother or sister, whatever you want to call it, XLM, but definitely seems to be following at least in the short term.
Yeah, I'm going to trade XRP, that's for sure. When it moves, guys. So I'm looking to ride that wave when it's a good entry point. We've got a few more requests here. Let's see if we can cover some of them briefly before signing off and sending you guys off into a wonderful week. Supra, I know Watchman is a regular viewer, so we're going to go over Supra first if we can. Oh, Onyx. Okay, thanks, Pipeline. Yeah, of course, I know Onyx. Just didn't know the ticker. It reminded me of that other one, XDC. I think that's why I was getting confused. AVAX. Okay, we've got an AVAX guy in the house. Harshith. Am I saying that right? Thank you for joining the stream. First up, we've got here Supra. So Watchman is super bullish here on Supra. Let's have a look.
Yeah, Supra. Let's see what's going on here. You already had a very decent move to the upside. It looks like that was already a pretty decent gain potential. So it's up about 130, 140% from that low. There's not a whole lot of structure here to work with yet. Maybe you could call this I'll put the resistance down here first. Potentially this whole move ends up being a bear trap. So we've kind of already got that break and a retest of that level so far. But if you were to come back down again and make a bigger swing retest of this level, that could probably be a better entry. If this level is not able to hold, and for example, if Bitcoin pulls back deeper than we expect, then you're probably looking for another entry closer to that bottom low. And that's at about, these are tiny numbers, 0.001987, pretty much 0.002 would be your bottom entry. The retest of the bear trap, that's at about 0.0038, pretty much 0.004 is where you'd be looking for that entry at this level. This one's kind of hard to chart because you don't have a ton of data. I don't have any history beyond this stuff. I also don't really see a bottoming pattern yet. The only other thing I could imagine is that from here, if you get to move up to this neckline at this resistance over here, then you see a rejection, then you probably come back down to test this level again. And the idea that you're looking for at that point is you'd be building an inverse head and shoulders pattern. But like I said, there's not a ton of data to go off of, so these are just ideas to watch for. But you need some confirmation from either of those moves to decide which way it's going to go or what's going to happen next.
Phenomenal. We have a question from Ace here. And by the way, this is wizardry. I don't know. Trip somehow is just able to visualize these things in ways that a lot of people aren't. And I do want to say for everybody listening that if you are trading, and you're looking at particular coins, we're all guilty of this, including myself. Don't get stuck on one coin just because you like it. I mean, the beauty of Trip and our group and these setups that we post is because they're the best setups that are ready to go potentially now or in the near future because of the bullish factors, right, on the charts, the indicators. So maybe this one will be one to trade down the line, but there's so many that are ready now that we went over on the stream, like Turbo and Super or close to being ready. So that's the whole point, is to find the setups that are the best at the moment. But yeah, this one looks like it could be shaping up to be something. We have a question from Ace. Trip, what's your price prediction for Bitcoin this cycle? Ooh.
Well, there's a lot of different ways to measure that move, and I'm really more about measuring instead of just throwing a number out there. So we'd probably be looking at around 350, 330,000 is a number I keep seeing come up when I measure on the higher time frame moves. It really is going to depend to see what we do with, let me see, which chart was it? With this chart here, right? So this is the one I'll be watching the most closely. If we do get a similar move back here as we did to the 2014 cycle, I mean, this chart still goes up a ways after that breakout. So I think we talked about this last time in the stream too. It's just as a potential idea. If we measure after the break of that channel, you know, it's still about 1,477%. Let's compare it to the previous time. This is only about 933, so we'll skim that down to assume that it's about the same level. So, you know, you start getting the numbers are like $2 million. Not that I believe that's exactly the target we're going to hit on this cycle. I also still have mixed feelings about cycles in general. So we have charts that say that Bitcoin on the biggest picture possible, you're aiming for about 1.5 million. But is it going to happen within a year, 2 years, 3 years? That's really the bigger question, is how long will it take to get to 1 million instead of will Bitcoin get to 1 million? It's more like how long will it take? So
Right.
I have mixed
Not
feelings
if,
about
but
actually
when.
measuring. Right.
So it's just a matter of time. So I get what you're saying, Trip. It's kind of like, well, this cycle seems like it could be irrelevant if you're just thinking long term and you're just holding. Now, if you're trading, it's a little bit of a different thing. But long term, I mean, Michael Saylor always said, you know, and a lot of great investors, it's either going to zero or it's going to million and beyond because it's working, right? And it's doing what it's meant to be doing. And that upside is, you know, essentially could be classified as sort of infinite, right? We don't know what the upside max potential is, but yeah, I get it. So this cycle potentially, if it is a traditional cycle or maybe even a super cycle, 300 to 350 is what you're saying, Trip. But that in the bigger picture, we're meant to go much higher according to the charts, that we could go much higher.
Right. And it's not necessarily that Bitcoin is going up that much necessarily. I mean, you're dealing with things like inflation as well. So
Right.
over the next 10 years, inflation might be so bad that Bitcoin is at 2 million because inflation was so high. So there's just a
Right.
ton of contributing factors. Like if you're only denominating it in dollars, then you have to realize like, well, what is the dollar doing to create that price target? So it's not just the expectation of what Bitcoin can do, it's the expectation of like how well will the dollar perform compared to Bitcoin. It's always a comparison.
Right, absolutely. And that's a really good point. This is another reel that I shared yesterday or Saturday. I don't know when that was. Days are blurring. With Charles Hoskinson, he was talking about The Simpsons. He's like, that's the one thing that Homer got wrong in The Simpsons. The one thing that they didn't predict was that, you know, having a two-story house as a working class man with a very low salary could afford all of that, a three-bedroom home and beyond, that it killed the money. The money died. The fiat is collapsing, right? And that's one thing that the Simpsons have not really ever predicted. So in such a way, they got that wrong, guys. They got that wrong. So basically, yeah, does it outpace inflation, and what is it doing compared to other things? That's a really good point, Trip. I want to highlight this comment from Big Seki because I really appreciate it. And I think it's really important for people to see. So I love Trip's BTC analysis in the group. I base all my trades around his Bitcoin charts he posts daily. Once I learned to make all my altcoin trades around Bitcoin's moves, my win rate has greatly increased. And that's right. Bitcoin is the driver, right? Bitcoin is essentially the driver, Bitcoin and Bitcoin dominance. So, when you're sort of looking at both at the same time, like Trip does, to look at your entries, to understand the ebb and flow of the market, you become an exponentially better trader because you're not just looking at that setup, but you're understanding what's happening in the overall context, right? And that's really, really good point, Big Seki. Thanks for bringing that up. And we love having you in the group. What a great community. So, yeah, I just wanted to point that out. You're looking for something there, Trip?
Yeah, I'm just trying to pull up a euro versus the dollar chart. I'm not exactly sure what the ticker should be.
Well, that affects me here in Spain. I
Right.
actually hope the euro is stronger than it was before because that helps me. But
Okay, so this is all I
yep.
really needed to see.
Okay.
Well, someone mentioned in the chat that Bitcoin hasn't broken all-time high in euros yet, and that's because the dollar has been going down against the euro itself. So Bitcoin denominated against the dollar is going to look like it's going higher, but since the dollar is going down against the euro, the Bitcoin versus euro chart probably won't look like an all-time high yet. So now we'll just pull up the euro slash BTC, or maybe the BTC slash euro is better. Let's see. How do I type that in? It's just like this.
Should be BTC euro, yeah.
Yeah, like this. There we go. EUR. So yeah, as I was saying, right? So now you got the dollar compared to the euro, and now you have Bitcoin compared to the euro. And because the dollar has been going down against the euro, it makes the euro stronger. So it'll look like on the BTC versus the euro chart that it hasn't broken that high yet.
Okay, so somebody commented on that earlier. Interesting. Right. Watchman says he took profit on Supra. Yeah, it's always good to pay yourself. It's always good. And we don't know what Bitcoin's going to do at this point in time. And always good to lock in your profits. That's for sure. So great. Constantine, smash that like. Yeah, guys, smash the like if you can. It helps so much. We really do appreciate it. A says, don't hate it. Don't date it. Don't hate it. Just trade it. Absolutely. That is the mentality of a trader. For sure. Yeah, good point. So we're going to wrap this up really soon, guys. Maybe we have time for one or two more. Constantine here says render. And then we have Harshith that asked for AVAX. Harshith, if you're still in the chat, let us know. Maybe we'll have time to go over those two charts and that's it. Otherwise, let's do render and HBAR and call it a day. What do you say?
Sure. So let me pull up the HBAR chart here for a second. I got to put it on the tab that we're currently on.
Now we have a lot of HBAR people here too. We've got HBAR, Cardano, and Theta. They're the ones that consistently show up. So you know what? They deserve to have their charts charted. I'm just saying.
Right. Actually, I have someone at my door. Can you hang on for one moment?
Yeah, sure. So I can just talk about why I'm bullish. HBAR is doing they're working with institutions. So I feel like all of the projects, just like Flare and Cardano, that are sort of pivoting and finding these use cases that are very, very useful in real life and can bring volume and liquidity to the chain, are really useful. So those are the ones that I'm focused on in my long-term portfolios. Is one they serve some sort of use and they're getting some sort of adoption. It doesn't necessarily have to be retail. It's just, will they get adoption for their chain? And there's also the speculation element. Let's face it, obviously we all want to make money here, right? And that's part of it. But do they have staying power? Are they doing something that could potentially disrupt the entire market? And that's sort of what I like to think about. I know there's a lot of influencers and a lot of people talking about a lot of different coins. And in the end, you kind of just get lost, you guys. So you're going to have to decide, what do I want in my core portfolio? Is this a blue chip in its category? And maybe 3 or 4 others within that category, but otherwise you're spread pretty thin, So I think that what the strategy that I like is holding a long-term portfolio, which Watchman is Theta for sure. It's like Theta, ADA. I mean, I've got quite a few because I'm full-time crypto all the time, right? But just my core portfolio that I have sitting there waiting for, a certain point in the cycle versus trading. And you know what? You can exponentially compound your gains with that kind of strategy. even if you start with just a little bit. And I really have been enjoying the leverage trading. Obviously it adds that element of risk, but it allows you to trade smaller moves with smaller capital and still make pretty good gains if you learn about risk management and what you're doing. We did have our leverage trader on last Friday, our lead leverage trader, Rob. If you guys like that and you want to learn more about leverage trading and see more leverage setups, we can do that as well. So we will have that more and more on the stream. But yeah, so Watchman, I love Theta. Measured move on Theta is massive. We have also done a log scale for Theta in the past. I don't know if that's what you're referring to or just in today's stream, just like Cardano, but they are just shocking numbers, right? Like $43 Cardano, that would like break the internet. People would be upset about it. It'd be like, what are you talking about? $43? Like, no way. That's never happening. But guess what? When I bought ADA for 4 cents, a few cycles passed, or last cycle, I don't remember when it was now, nobody thought it was going to go to $3. I mean, that was inconceivable. And yet here we are. Constantine, wow, thank you so much for that super chat. We so appreciate you. He says, love you, Megan Tripp. Keep doing this. Honestly, that means a lot, you guys, just your support. And that is just really nice of you, Constantine. So we much appreciated. We're doing the best we can to just make these as value-packed and value-driven as possible. When we first came on, we're like, okay, we're going to stick to 10 to 20 minutes, just do brief updates, but we get so into it. And we just want to make sure that everybody walks away here having taken something with them that gives them value, right? That helps you with your trades, with your investment analysis, with all the things. So Constantine, much appreciated. We love you here too. And you know what? I'm a Theta holder as well. So I'm pumped and ready. And actually the trades that I was looking to get into today are Cardano. I am looking to get back into Theta. Obviously, I have a huge long-term Theta bag. But yeah, what else are you guys holding long-term? What are your long-term portfolio strategies? I would love to know more about that. Also today I was looking at getting into Link, but that didn't work out. So yeah, I'm looking at a lot of different stuff, but mainly I use, Trips and all the admins charts as my guide because I don't have time to sit there and babysit the charts either. I have to also rely on the charts that they post. So that's really fun. In the group, we're having such a good vibe and we're just nailing them. And it's just that point in the market where you're just like, you feel like a family, right? It's just, we're all in this together and we're going to all do this together. And we're going to drag you up with us. We're going to take you along for the ride, whether you're tuning in for free here and getting value wherever you can and taking what you like. Part of the trading group, we're also going to launch a Patreon that's kind of like a hybrid in between the trading group and the the YouTube that gives you a lot more information about long-term buys, my portfolio strategy, trips, and all of that in sort of a bite-sized way through email. So if you like that, we're going to launch that this week. And I'm just super, super excited for what's coming. I have a lot of good podcasts coming out as well. ATH, the ATH token is launching probably in October. So we are going to find some sort of way to reward our viewers here as well as the people in our group. So love you. We love you guys a lot. We love you for tuning in, supporting us, and smashing that like button always. And I think, on that, we can save H bar and the other charts for tomorrow's stream, as this one's getting a little bit long now, and I know people have to get back to work and what they're doing. So I think we'll wrap it up here and we'll pick back up where we left off with H bar. Constantine, we've got render for tomorrow, okay? And let us know what charts you guys want us to look at tomorrow's stream. Well, Trip, we saved the day.
Yeah, no, delivery guy. He just
Yeah,
he needed all kinds of information.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
about to wrap up, but Constantine here gave us a super chat. So we're really thankful for that. And just for everybody here being in the group, we're just having some motivational talk about what it takes to succeed. And yeah, I know it's getting a little bit long on the stream, but maybe we can pop render up as our last chart. And you guys let us know what you want to see for tomorrow's stream. And we'll do our best to accommodate. So Constantine, let's have a look at render, and then we will wrap this stream up, and you guys will go off onto a wonderful week.
Okay, render. Yeah, we're going to pull up a fib on the 1 day here just to get our base here. There we go. And I'm going to add the rest of we'll use a fib full chart. Okay, so measured move of this double bottom, we're just going to measure from this high down to this bottom. So in the short term, we're looking for a move up to the 0.618. So yeah, you got the double bottom here. Probably don't have to draw it in, but I will anyways. Okay, so yeah, right now it looks like if we zoom in a little bit, as far as entry goes, you might be looking for a move down to the 0.118, which is very close to where we are right now. We could also probably draw this trend line from this top down to the bottom. And that's also giving us a better picture. So same idea, either you get a retest of the 0.118 or a retest of this yellow dotted trend line for an entry. Otherwise, yeah, locally, I think you're looking for a move up to $8.32. That's at the 0.618 fib level. So about from here, that's about 128% move, it looks like so far.
Nice. That's looking good, Constantine. Render is one of the, quote unquote, well, everyone's calling it a blue chip in the AI. We don't know what are going to be the blue chips, but it is one of those stronger players in the AI narrative. So I will be looking to pick up some Render as well. And it's looking good. It's looking good. I'm glad you brought that up. And yeah, I think Trip, unless, is this the same chart here?
Yeah, it's the same chart. I just want to see what the measured move would be from the break of the double bottom neckline to the top of the range. That's about an 89% move, just the same. So if we were to pull that down to this entry down here, that turns into about a 205% move in total to the top of the local range up here.
Wow, not bad. Looks like you found a gem there. Fantastic. No problem. Thank you, Constantine. Render's looking good. Yeah. Whew. I guess he has a bag, but yeah, it's looking good, man. Looking really good.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. Well, on that note, guys, we got to wrap it up. We've got to go back to what we're doing here, but it's been so great. It energizes me so much to jump on here and talk to you guys. It's been a great stream. Real Ice Bear. Let's see if we can go over those charts tomorrow for sure. So come back with all of your energy tomorrow. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your Monday. Just crush it, guys. And I guess we'll be seeing you tomorrow at this same time at what is that? 2:30 p.m. EST, right?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, we will see you tomorrow then and have an amazing day. Ciao.
Thank you.